Good afternoon. Today I have the privilege of being here with Megan Costanzo. She is the admissions rep at Maryville College. So we're going to ask a few questions about what's going on at Maryville College. Hi Megan, welcome.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Our pleasure. First off, can you tell us a little bit about Maryville College? You know, we're here in the Knoxville area and we pass through Maryville, but we may not know what there is to know about Maryville College.
Definitely. So Maryville College is a small private liberal arts institution with about 1,200 students. My slogan I've really adopted for Maryville College is that we're a small school with the small school benefits but the big school opportunities. And the reason why I really say that about Maryville College is because we've been around for 200 years. Our bicentennial is this next fall, so fall of 2019. So we've been around in our community for a long time, and we have that small classroom setting in terms of we have a 13-to-1 faculty to student ratio. So for every 13 students, we have one faculty member. We have a lot of different ways where our students can feel comfortable talking to their faculty through office hours and things like that. But again, we're integrated into our community in Maryville City. So we have some great opportunities for students to have internships right in Maryville. We have long-lasting partnerships within our community. So just a few examples would be our Blount County Community Hospital, our Blount County Police Department. So those are a few long-lasting or our longest connections for students for internships, but we have over 200 partnerships. And then we also have Knoxville just 25 minutes down the way. So kind of the best of both worlds for students in terms of opportunities. And we're only 20 minutes from the Smoky Mountains, so just a little bit closer than here in Knoxville.
Yeah, Maryville is truly a beautiful place, great location.
Yes, I would agree.
Now, my understanding is that Maryville College used to be and still has some affiliation with the Presbyterian Church. I didn't realize that till today. Can you tell us what that looks like in terms of activities available?
Yeah, so our founder was part of the Presbyterian Church, and so that's been within our community for about 200 years. In terms of our student experience, you can really get connected to the Presbyterian Church, but we also have just church and community scholarships for students to get involved in, community service scholarships and opportunities for students to get involved in as well that are connected to that. We also have church-specific scholarships for students to take advantage of, depending on their interests and depending what they want to go into. We also have a scholarship for students that are looking to go into ministry. So it is a part of our experience if that's something you're interested in. We have chapel every week, but that's not required for students. So it's really there and present, and it shows our community really wants to make a better tomorrow and create well-rounded students and leaders, but that's in a lot of different ways. That's throughout our liberal arts education as well. So our students can take advantage of that at Maryville College and have a great opportunity, but the only requirement in terms of having that as part of your experience being connected to the church is we require one religious course, which could be philosophy, it could be specific, but the student gets to choose that. So that's the only requirement, but lots of areas to take advantage of if interested.
Great, thank you.
Yeah.
Can you tell us about some of the majors that are popular at Maryville College?
Yeah, and so I'm going to be a little bit biased and say all our majors are amazing. I know that's typically what you hear from an admissions counselor working at an institution. But some of our most popular, I would say, would be education, because we were founded as an education institution. We really wanted to serve, our area in terms of education, and we're closer to the mountains and wanted to serve the mountain, more rural area as well. So that was really the goal of Maryville College, but we have really expanded since then, since our founding. But education, we have a lot of connections in terms of placement. We have students that are in the classroom for an entire year, so some great opportunities with that. That would be one of the top majors, I would say. We also have exercise science, environmental sciences that students can really take advantage of. We have a lot of different outdoor recreation and leadership certificates as well. And then I would say another top opportunity for students would be either the pre-health opportunities or pre-law. And I would also take into consideration business with our location and our partnerships. So that's kind of a lot of different majors, but you have to keep in mind we have 60 plus majors and certificates for students to take advantage of. A lot of our students will really individualize that curriculum because we're a small private liberal arts institution, so they can be really creative in building their educational path to success. So a lot of our students can double major in very different things. So we'll have students who double major in biology and theater, and they find a way to combine that experience. So we have some really great top majors, but really most importantly, we're focusing on making sure we can create an individual education plan for the student to find their very own path to success.
Great. Do you find that the faculty between departments work well together to help the students design that unique curriculum?
Yes, and I would also say, so we have faculty advisors for students, so they work well to make sure our students are graduating on time and they're paying attention to what they need to graduate correctly with, in terms of if they are doing more of that complicated track with a double major or maybe a double minor. But really, another way that we work really hard to make sure our students are successful is through our Maryville College Works program. So that's where we have our students take certain milestones each year, freshman through senior year, where they're working to hit career-specific milestones so that they can find what major combination that are going to lead to their career success as well. So you're not only getting connected to faculty advisors, you're getting connected to career services as part of your curriculum so that you're able to individualize that and have kind of a double dip of someone advising you in terms of making sure you're taking the correct classes and you're getting the right information to either go on to grad school or go into the workforce, depending on what the student's interest is in, as well as providing you with the resources as you may change what you're interested in, which happens all the time. We're always thinking about new ways we can be better professionals, even after graduation. So we want to make sure our students have the tools necessary with that career services so that they're really able to, if they do change their minds, they're able to feel comfortable tackling on a new challenge. How am I going to navigate to find my path a little bit more?
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Can you tell us how the senior thesis feeds into and supports what you've talked about with the work partnerships?
Yeah, so the Maryville College Works is a partnership in terms of we are going to make sure that you have a practical work experience by the time you graduate, which is an internship. And then we have the specific career milestones from freshman to senior year. But then your senior year, you're going to tackle a thesis with a faculty advisor who is going to meet with you once a week. So you're going to be able to have a faculty advisor meeting and support throughout the senior thesis. And so the senior thesis on top of this career experience is another way to set you apart in terms of if you're going to grad school or if you're looking to go into the workforce. This is something I can show, tangible, something I can show to an employer or to a grad school that I have been successful in my career and I'm prepared to take on any challenge. I know for me as a student, hearing that I had a senior thesis would have been intimidating. I know that you all have kind of a senior thesis or capstone for your students, so they would be very well prepared, but it is really, the benefit to it is that we have someone who you're meeting with and you can ask questions once a week. So you're not going to be asked to do the senior thesis and not supported. You're going to have that one-on-one time so that every student can go on to their next step and feel confident that they'll be able to do that in their future.
Okay, thank you. Would you say that most of your students are on some type of scholarship?
Yes, 97% of our students have scholarship or financial aid, usually both. I would say majority of that is both.
Okay, and I understand that there's an early application deadline for the most competitive scholarship.
Yeah.
And then a later, can you tell us about those deadlines, please?
Yes, okay, so we are a rolling decision institution. So the sooner you apply, the sooner you know. So we always suggest applying earlier, only because that's going to help you with scholarships and it's going to help you with the college search process down the line so that you can have a decision from more institutions earlier. Some schools aren't going to be rolling decisions, so at least you're going to have some ease in terms of that college search process and get that decision a little bit sooner from us. So I always suggest applying earlier. But the biggest reason is because of scholarships. We have our new scholarship, the McGill Scholarship. This is an opportunity for students to get full tuition which is amazing. So they can apply. They have to have applied and been admitted, and then they can apply to this McGill scholarship. We're looking for a 30 ACT super scored and a 3.8 GPA for the scholarship. If you're in that range, I suggest applying because, you know, if you're even a little bit below, I always suggest applying because at least you're making sure you're doing everything you can to have that as an option. So really, we have that application deadline by November 10th. And then you will apply by November 10th for that scholarship, and then we will reach out for an interview for it as well. This is an opportunity for 5 students to get full tuition scholarships, and then we have 20 fellowships that are $4,000 that can be stacked on to your automatic consideration scholarship we already give as an institution. So that is an earlier deadline for students, but we have automatic consideration scholarship regardless when you apply. So when you apply, we're going to be considering you for scholarship right away based off test scores and GPA, and that scholarship, you know, money could come out to being $15,000, or award could come out to being $15,000 to $22,000 depending on your GPA and test scores. So great ways to automatically get the cost down, and really all you're investing is your time because we don't have an application fee. So you just have to apply to us, send in your transcripts and your test scores, and then you're going to be considered for that automatic consideration scholarship admission. And if you apply soon, you'll be able to apply by that November 10th deadline for that McGill scholarship as well.
Great. What is the sticker price? If you had no scholarships, what could a student expect to pay?
So, like I said, 97% of our students get aid. So there's very, very few students, if any, that pay full sticker price. But it is $33,000 for tuition, and for room and board, it's around $46,000. Again, we have very competitive scholarships for students. Competitive in terms of the award that we give. We give great award packages and financial aid packages. So that's kind of the range, but we have that opportunity for full tuition scholarship. We have opportunity for those automatic consideration that can automatically cut that in half right away. And then we also have opportunity for competitive scholarships on top of that. And I would mention that McGill is only one of our competitive scholarships. The rest of our competitive scholarships are due by February 1st. And that's another great way to get the cost down. And these can be based off interests like theater. They can be based off of interest in terms of you really like to be involved with your community and leadership. We have a Bonner Scholarship for students to, if they're interested, to look into. We have a Mountain Challenge Fellowship, which is really an outdoor recreation scholarship, which is amazing for those students that want to take advantage of the location they're in the Smoky Mountains. So a lot of different competitive scholarships for students to get that cost down. And you know, the sooner you apply and work to send the FAFSA and apply for scholarships, the sooner you can get a financial aid package so that you can look at that and understand before making a decision what we would cost in terms of, and compare the other schools that you've applied and gotten those financial aid packages from.
Great. Now, what does your student body look like? Are many of them local students? Or are they from out of state, in Tennessee?
Yeah, so we have about 40 different states that are represented, and we have a good portion of international applicants as well, but really a majority of our population is serving right here in Tennessee. We have a majority of our population coming from the local area, but a good portion are from the state of Tennessee as a whole.
Okay, now the local, say people that are coming from the greater Knoxville area or the Maryville area, are they mostly living on campus or living at home and commuting?
Yeah, 75% of our students still decide to live on campus. We require to live on campus. Of course, being in the local area, we're going to work with students. You can put in a petition to live with your family if you're from the area. So there's a lot of different ways for students to work with us to make sure if they want to live at home that is an option for them. But a majority of our students, freshman through senior, live on campus, 75% of them, unless they are living with their family or maybe they're a non-traditional student. We have our students live on campus because we feel it's a great way to be invested and really have that connection to your campus so that you can feel supported in terms of finishing your college career successfully. So we really think that living on campus is an important part of that, but we are going to work with our students in the area that do wish to live off campus.
Okay. And what about on the weekends? What might a student who's living on campus find to do?
Yeah, and so we have something for students to do every weekend on campus. That can be through Mountain Challenge. So we have this slogan that fit, green, and happy. That's really our slogan. We want to utilize our area for students to get outdoors. We want students to be able to use exercise as medicine. Really, you know, college is going to teach you a lot of different things. Some of that is work-life balance. And we want to teach that to our students because that's going to be a lifelong lesson long after you graduate. How can you have that balance? So we work to have opportunities for students, even if they haven't been interested in outdoor activities before. We have beginner, you know, outdoor activities in terms of hiking, paddleboarding, canoeing. Every weekend we have opportunities to go hiking with our institution, specifically in the Smokies. We actually are running a 5K this next weekend. Our Mountain Challenge is running a 5K that anyone can participate in if they'd like to, and they can sign up for. So a lot of outdoor recreation. But then we also have the Clayton Fine Arts Center, which is open to our community and on our campus. So we will bring in different shows. We had Kinky Boots just recently. We had Metamorphosis, which is where we actually built a pool in our theater. I'm not a theater person, but I think that's pretty amazing.
That is amazing.
So we work really hard to have our students be able to have a lot of different options right on campus. But again, you're only 20 minutes from Knoxville, so you have those opportunities as well.
How about sports? Maryville College has a basketball team. What teams do they have?
So we're a Division III institution. So we have a variety of different sports, and then we also have club sports as well and intramural sports. So we have basketball, we have soccer. I couldn't list all of them off the top of my head necessarily. We have cross country, so a lot of different Division III sports for students to participate in and be involved in. We also have cheerleading, dance opportunities for students. So great ways for students to make athletics a part of their experience. I was a Division III athlete myself, and I think that's just another way if a student is interested in finding an outside academic experience and having that help them be invested in their college and lead to their college success. It's a great community to be a part of, a great way to find your home at your institution. So I always suggest my students looking into colleges that have sports or clubs that they would be interested in, because the happiest students are involved in something.
Definitely. And Maryville College sounds like a great option for some of our students. You said the application process is really streamlined and simple, primarily the application, the GPA, and the test scores. And the rolling deadline allows students to get their information, their acceptance back quickly. Can you tell us, is there sort of a minimum GPA or ACT score that we should know about?
Yeah, so our minimum, what we're really looking for that automatic consideration for that student is a 3.0 GPA and a 19 ACT, but our average for our students is around 24 and a 3.4. So really, that's automatic consideration, and that's getting into that scholarship range I was talking about for a student to be awarded some of that automatic consideration scholarship. But if there is a student that fell below that, we would ask that they just advocate for themselves. Let us know if they're retaking the test, or send in an essay or something that we need to know to understand that they would be successful at Maryville College. But we do, as soon as the student sends in other scores, we super score for admission, as well as we take weighted GPAs if a school provides it. So we will take all of that into consideration, as well as the courses you've taken, how you've challenged yourself, those grades. So we will still look, even though all we're asking for is those transcripts and test scores, we'll still look at anything that you believe as a student will show us you'll be successful at Maryville College.
Okay, and where would you include those additional materials as part of the online application?
You can leave it on the online application or email it to us as your counselors, and we can add it as well.
Okay.
So definitely opportunities for students. But really the goal is to provide access and make this college search process that's already pretty difficult as easy as possible. So we want to...
We all appreciate that. I speak on behalf of all the students out there and parents. We thank you so much for your time today, Megan. Thank you for being part of our interview process, and we look forward to seeing you and sending some students your way.
Awesome. Thanks so much.
Pleasure.